Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, welcoming the gorgeous Moran Atias to Behind the Velvet Rope, Season 3 of FX's Tyrant on FX every Wednesday. Check it out. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. All right, Moran, so congratulations, Season 3, FX's Tyrant. I mean, Season 3 in TV years is like 78 years in human years, so congratulations. The show's really freaking awesome and couldn't be more relevant with what's going on right now. So talk to me all about Season 3. It's going to be exciting to be back.
Yeah, sadly, you're right. It's definitely relevant with what's happening in the world. I think, but this season is really trying to tell the complexity of the Middle East and how difficult it is to make some decisions that will reflect people that have been accustomed to a certain tyranny for so many years. And my character is trying to break through that, trying to find an identity for herself politically. No longer she is the wife of the dictator or the mother of the next heir, but looking for her own identity and opportunity to make a change in a significant way. So it's going to be, it is groundbreaking, to be honest, because I don't think we find a lot of female characters around the world, especially in that part of the world, when they're deprived from basic rights, that a woman is going to be in a position of power.
I mean, she wants to be president. I mean, we have a situation right now where we might have our first female president, and here you're playing a character who's trying to achieve the epitome of power, as you had mentioned, in an environment where that doesn't exist. Talk to me about the message that that sends.
Well, I think for every girl that is raised in those parts of the world, but also here in America or in Israel, places that are perhaps more advanced and are used to democracy, you don't find these female characters in the textbooks. So when a girl grows up and she reads that this character, this woman, has saved the world or has invented a cure for a disease or is in somewhat innovative and powerful, she believes that she's of value, she's of worth. But if you don't have these characters in the textbook or in history, which is in our reality, then why would she think she's of value? And that affects also, you know, your psychology or a boy that is raised in that way. The woman is no longer just a victim or a property or something to use, but she is as the same value as a man. So I think that is very important and inspiring for every part of the world, not just, you know, not just in the Middle East.
You grew up in the Middle East. We were just talking. Mm-hmm. Israel is so gorgeous, and your town you're from, Haifa, is so gorgeous. Having grown up there and then being part of the show, how accurate are they with what is going on over there in the environment?
Well, you know, sometimes I read the scripts and tears come to my eyes because it's really what's happening. I mean, we had a coup. We had assassinations on the show. We had a lot of things that are very relevant, and some of them have predicted what's happening in the world. So without spoiling the rest of the season, but definitely what you will see in this season and third season is what's happening in the world.
FX is such a phenomenal network, and they do such a great job in pushing boundaries, and your show is one of those examples. Talk to me about being part of a show where you are able to push the boundaries the way you're able to push them.
I mean, it's amazing because you truly have a sense of, well, first of all, it comes from a sense of responsibility because I want to tell a story that is impactful and authentic. I don't want to be part of something that is manipulative, nor is it distorting the actual reality of people that are grown in that part of the world, especially with so many of my friends now that I've like added to my Facebook account, which had like 3 friends. Now I have
not that anybody's monitoring.
Well, a lot of them are from countries like Saudi Arabia or Dubai, and they want to be portrayed in the best way possible. I mean, the most truthful way. Obviously, when you shed light on a place where injustice is happening, a lot of people can get hurt. But at the same time, only through that truth can be prevailed and change can happen. So if there's injustice in a religion or in a government, and we have the possibility to show it, then things might change. You know.
Your show has so many twists and turns. Do you find yourself being a fan sometimes when you're getting the scripts? Are you like, I wonder where this is going? Because you probably have no idea until you see it, right?
It's hard for me to be a fan of my own
See,
project.
If I was if I was doing a TV show, I'd be like such a fan of my own. Probably like, oh my god, where's this going? And forget I'm an actor on it.
Well, you probably have a great therapist, but but for me,
not good enough, obviously.
But for me, I always seek for improvement. So I think we have definitely the writers this season, Howard Gordon, who is an incredible,
one of the best in the business,
and Chris Kaiser, and a beautiful list of other writers, Addison McGee, and I mean there's a huge list. So I don't want to name everybody and forget someone. So I appreciate what the writers are doing, but I think always, as always, there's there's place to go even deeper into the subject matter, but we only have all this this time, in 10 episodes and 40 minutes, so many characters and their storylines. So sometimes I feel that maybe we miss to go even deeper, to actually like really figuring out how can, for me the biggest question is, partially because I'm Israeli, secondly because my character is so politically involved, is how can you obtain like peace, but not in the cliche hashtag form, we want peace, but actual peace. And it comes down to an agreement and a contract between two people that don't agree with each other. And I think that is something that, if we had another season, I would be like, hey guys, I want to go into that, but to literally be able to provide an agreement, a contract, because that's where I think the ultimate solution is. And where is the compromise? What is one giving up for the other? But there's a bigger question, obviously, is like, how do you live with terrorism? And that is something that sadly nobody has yet found the answer to, because clearly this is a situation that is imposing in so many parts of the world. But that is my ultimate question, and because that question does not have an answer, I feel like I've just began the journey with Tyrant, and it's endless. So they have material to write for many more seasons.
When you look, obviously you mentioned terrorism, we're going through one of the most horrific periods imaginable. How much do you think relates, how much are the writers looking at what's going on in the outside world and potentially bringing it into your world?
All the time. I mean, it's hard not to, and it's irresponsible not to. They do it all the time. We have also consultants from parts of the world that have lived and were raised with that reality. And I've been raised with that reality for many, many years, being Israeli. So terrorism, sadly, is part of my upbringing.
Although it's funny, having been to Israel, you almost, when you're in Israel, you feel safer than when you're even here. It's incredible, the mindset over there. As much terrorism as happens over there, you're like, you never really feel it over there, right?
I do because it saddens me, to see these same images, and but I don't live there for 15 years. So when I go home, it's like it just impacts me so much. But, I went to visit, I was in Tel Aviv a few weeks ago, and I went to Sarona where we had an attack, and the place was just like nothing happened. It's
They were just partying.
They were partying.
They were just partying.
Yeah, they were partying. I mean, I have to say that's the joy of life and the spirit and the desire to live fully is something so great that I don't know if it's just because we're Israelis, but or maybe just because our history has been so challenging. You're telling me this is dark times, but
this is normal times. This is like light times in Israel.
Have,
it's like vacation. This is vacation in Israel.
Holocaust. Look, I'm saying Holocaust, laughing, but without obviously like this. So it's just dark because it's between the dark and the light and the evil and good, and this is what people are asking themselves. Like, people are feeling defeated. because of the evilness that is in the world right now. But at the same time, I always look outside and look how beautiful this world is. It truly is. And there's so many incredible people that deeply care, and humanity is their hashtag. So those are the people that I'm attracted. Those are people that inspire me, and my character is becoming that, truly. So it's this season, I have to say, I'm extremely proud of.
You get to play such a strong female character. That's got to be such a joy as an actress, because there's not enough of them on television right now. So being able to play one of them, talk to me about that joy.
It's great because, first of all, I think that it's always important for every character to find the contradictions, because it makes the character complex and interesting and human. So she's strong but fragile at the same time. She's ambitious but fearful, and these contradictions provide a very human character. So I always look for that, and if it's not on the page, then it's my job to create that dimension, to add that depth or that light. I mean, this season we have a new entry of Mr. Chris Noth, and he plays an American general that comes to try and help the government of Abu Dhabi to deal with the threat that we have inside and outside. And she finds the light with this presence, this American boy in uniform.
Mr. Big, you cannot find the light.
Exactly. So, but it wouldn't have been as joyful if she was always like, la 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 la. Try to translate that. Subtitles. La 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 la. So that was interesting, because like for 2 seasons she's been in the sidelines, married to a man that is very challenging and never appreciated her support and her being there, and was not faithful to her, and she sacrificed her entire life to support the family. And now having a man like that she might giggle with and have a glass of wine is something that I found almost magical, like bringing that child that was so repressed for so many years. So just finding those contradictions. Yes, she's extremely strong, but it came from years of being repressed, so that it's earned. But you saw also third person. I mean,
that was going to be my segue. I was going to say, last time we spoke was third person. You've now done movies. You're doing TV. Is there one that you enjoy more as an actress?
It's all about the story for me. I do enjoy working on film because it's less time.
It's quick and easy. You're like in and out.
It's not easy. Like, but then instead of being on the set for 4 or 5 months, then I'll prepare for 2-3 months, and then just fully being that, in the film. And like third person, I only shot 3.5 weeks, and it was a main character.
Right.
But it was intense, and it was amazing. It was a really incredible experience. But the 3-4 months before, I was in Italy living as a gypsy. So when I came to set, I was that character. I mean, no matter what happened.
That much prep goes into building a character?
That character, for me, it needed that. I mean, my acting coach would say, Moran, you don't need all that time. Just believe in yourself, and you're ready. But, the therapist I call, she's like, retired. No, I'm kidding.
Wouldn't it be funny if
nobody can help
what if we shared a therapist?
I don't think so. I think mine was like, I had one for a few months in LA, and I think she gave up on
LA therapists. LA therapists are the worst.
I'm like, but what? No, but I guess I'm my own therapist, and life is your biggest help. So the prep time for me for that character, I was playing a gypsy, an Albanian gypsy. I have no knowledge. I've never met people like that. So I personally needed that time to create those layers. It takes time to build a personality. So, my accent is much better after 3 months that I'm doing it than after 3 hours. Or the details, like that character, I wanted her to look and feel dirty. And I put myself in certain circumstances in Italy where I had nothing with me, and dressed as a gypsy, and people were repulsed. And having to experience that really allowed me to understand what it means to feel dirty. So that did take time, and I mean, hopefully my next part would be as complex and challenging, and it will require that time of prep, and I'll have that time of prep, and I'll be as excited and proud of the final result, because I want to honor that character and the story as much as I can.
Moran, you're awesome.